It looks like everybody's here and I don't know how many seconds left before 5 o'clock, but let's go ahead and start the meeting. The first thing we have is to approve the minutes of June 2nd meeting, regular select board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Larry makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I can second.
Second, Paul seconds. All those in favor say aye.
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 Right,
Aye.
and then the next order of business is approving our agenda for tonight, June 16th, 2026. Or are there any amendments to the agenda? Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Larry makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Well, second.
Paul seconds. All those in favor say aye.
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 Excellent. Let's move right on to the highway report and FEMA roadway work update.
Fitzgerald is coming out tentatively on Friday to do, the survey at Old Brook Road and also start Daniel's Farmers.
Awesome.
We worked on McCullough Hill. We've got 3 out of the 3 culverts replaced. The ditching is done in the section we're working on. And tomorrow we should be able to finish stone lining it, and then we're moving to a different section up the road a little ways.
Great.
I had a site visit last Tuesday with Ashley Andrews, who's with the Grants and Aids program for the state. And we have this year's project approved. It's the culvert replacement on 3 Mile Bridge Road near house number 90 where the road is collapsed. That's a $14,000 grant.
Wow. Okay, great.
And also just working on FEMA closing it, as you so know.
I certainly do. And we're doing pretty well. We're not gonna make any sort of July deadline, but we have closed out the 2023 4720 work almost. I think we've got like one more little question or two, and then we're moving to 4810 2024 flood, which should be much easier because that was far more organized. So I don't think it'll be that much longer before we're completely closed out and have, which means we'll have all of our money repaid to us.
That's good, yes.
Minus the work that needs to be done this side.
Right, minus the work that needs to be done this summer, which will be billed out to FEMA once we know the costs associated with that.
Absolutely.
Porter Road's been moving its way through the system, so that's 282,322 and 81 cents worth of damages, which we get 90% from the feds and 7.5 from the state. So you should be seeing a check fairly soon, Cheryl. Brook Road, yeah, the large closeout paperwork is being done. That's 2024 4810 work. And as I said, 23 is almost complete cost validation, and we're starting the 2024 PCCR cost validation. Paul, is there anything else going on with box culverts or anything that you wanted to say?
No, nothing on my end.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we're clicking right along and we're getting there, and no storms, no more storms. All right, it's wow, it's 5:03 and I'm ready for the fire department update, which you're doing, right?
That is me.
Okay.
Total calls this year is 46. Calls during this period is 7. 0 mutual aid out, 0 mutual aid in. Max responders is 7. Minimum is 3, an average of 5. Engine 1 out 7 times. Engine 6 out 0 times. Tanker 1 out 1 time, and rescue 1 out 4 times. Truck 14 out 0 times, and 7 times person and vehicles are out. For the fire calls, we had a single car MVA with a head wound. On the 21st, car versus deer with knee injury, fire alarm activation. Smoke seen from the forest on Notch Road, motor vehicle accident on Pulver Hill. Motorcycle crash on Route 2 and a fire activation on Little Hill Road.
That Culver Hill that didn't, that wasn't where that, the problem area near that
Oh, yeah.
person's mailbox, it was right by her, yeah. Oh, I'll have
I
to,
think that had to do with some impaired gravity.
okay, well, I'll have to give her a call and say I'm.
Hey, Zara.
Yes,
I'm sorry to interrupt. Are there folks talking in the background? It seems like a lot of chatter.
okay, guys, well, they're having a hard time hearing online, you want me to do me a favor, yeah, thank you. And is there anything we need to know?
I was just.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful.
As far as the fast squad, we had 15 total, calls reported and 9 medical calls only. Training was incident command and scene size up, there was no repairs and no purchases.
Great, does anybody have any questions? Awesome, great job, is everything going well?
Yes.
And you're liking your new area, that's coming along, Wells Park, getting down there? Fantastic. All right, we have
One
it,
other thing,
yes, go right ahead.
we have a metal dumpster that was brought down by Bulldogs, we're gonna be doing, metal drive for fundraising.
Oh, when's that?
And, that will be posted on Front Porch Forum probably tomorrow.
Okay, do you know what the date is? Not off the top of your head, that's cool.
I'm not the one doing it.
Okay, I might have some metal for it.
The department's doing it, but I'm not the one writing it up.
Perfect. We had a request from, Washington Electric Company, that's one thing we didn't have on here.
I'll go grab it.
Is that
That's right, I think I have
right
it here.
here?
Oh, good, yeah, it's listed. It's just, it was a request for tree work and pole work, through 2028 near 57 East Bear Swamp, I guess, road. So we have to take some action. Did you call the people who live at that,
I did a search of the address and it didn't come up as a residence.
Might be a new address.
So I have to do a little bit more digging on that.
okay,
Yeah,
I think we need to approve this though, probably.
I think that, I would agree with you with the motion, and then if there was, I would say yes, based on the fact that I couldn't find contact information.
And have you looked through the permit, the Washington,
I didn't work through this one.
the Washington, okay.
There
I'm,
were 2 names on the document that I sent over. I can go grab it.
yeah, if you don't mind,
Why don't
then Eric can take a look and,
I think usually we just will go move it, but anybody.
but I just wanna double check,
Yeah,
yeah, thank you, that would be great. All right,
They're usually
is
pretty,
Amy still, yes,
they're pretty good.
I believe that is so that they can bring power to a lot.
That's right, yeah,
House
that's the
with
new
new
address, yeah.
okay, so basically the homeowner wants that.
Yes. It's kind of hinging on them building a house.
All right, so that's my only concern is that, we're doing the right thing for the people who live in town, so. That being said, I'm pretty sure I forwarded the Washington Electric request to all of the select board members. I just don't happen to have it here in front of me.
Is Bridget getting it?
Yeah,
We still have 10 minutes anyway, so.
we do still have 10 minutes, but I'm wondering if we can just kind of skip ahead to, the facility improvement team request for costs involved in retrofitting downstairs.
Oh, no, I want to wait.
Let's skip ahead and let Kevin make his proposal for.
Okay, so the,
Shut off the spam.
St. Paul, I emailed you a copy of the estimate for the work downstairs to create the office for office space for the new town administrator.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't send you the drawing. So the FIT committee's been busy, the last month or so. Working on getting, budgets together for a bunch of different projects, that have been delayed and, basically just postponed maintenance on this building. And hopefully in another month or so, I'll be back with some of that.
Okay.
Then we can just start setting priorities on those projects. And then the other thing I just wanted to let you know is, some of the work on the town, we've been working on stuff on the town garage. The wetlands delineation got started on last Friday. That will be completed this Saturday, and then once we have those maps, that will give us an idea of where we're going. And then and the other thing is, John Rayhill is working on getting some estimates on doing some engineering studies on the current structure.
Structural.
To see, can it be saved? Does it need upgrade? Does it need, to give us the options of what we can do with that and then give us a direction on where to go. But our most immediate thing here is the office downstairs. And that's basically that center meeting room. And what we're proposing is moving and creating a new research station that will have the research computer, the public computer, and the hard files. Sliding and the space where that public computer is now, we're picking up 3 5x8 cubicle desk units tomorrow. And one of them will fit real nicely right in that corner. And that gets us a little bit of privacy for a new person to be working, without building any walls or anything like that, so. Sliding the copier down, and then the other thing we'd like to do is take that big old conference table out. And trade it for one of the tables up here, which will give us a lot better space and flow. And this work will include, we've included repainting the room. And there is some wiring that will need to be done on both the east and the west walls. And then we'll have to move some wiring for the research computer, for the public computer. I've come up with a total cost right now of $33.91. And that's with the cabinets coming from Sticks and Stuff, Kelly Bourne doing the electrical. We've been doing a bunch of other work here in the office. And everything else I'm figuring on volunteer work. So trying to get volunteers to come in and help with the painting, to work with me on setting up the new desk and moving things around. And so what we would like is just to establish a budget not to exceed 4,000. And that will give us a little bit of play if we run into stuff with electrical where we've got to do a lot more rewiring than we're assuming we have to do without, this estimate has been done without opening up the walls. So once we get into it, you can often find other things. So that would just give us a little bit of a cushion.
And you'd come back to us if there was anything major.
If there's anything major, of course, we would stop and come back.
Okay. And Cheryl, you're feeling good about this? So we've got the 4,000 in the budget
Well, I think we're gonna have to take it from the building fund.
for the building fund, but it's there.
Yeah, Sarah. So, and y'all just need to approve taking it from the building fund.
Yeah. Is everybody, understanding this and feeling good about it? Do I have a motion?
I would make that motion, Zara.
Okay, the motion to approve, taking, up to $4,000 from the building fund from Paul. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Stacy seconds. That's good, because Larry and I are on the committee, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, so it's gonna take 3 to 4 weeks to get cabinets, countertops, and get LB on the schedule. So in 3 to 4 weeks, we'll start this.
Sounds great.
Thank
Sounds
you.
great, and I know you're gonna have more for us on July 21st.
You bet.
All right, thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate all your hard work on this. Okay, so Eric, let's get back to the Washington.
So it is, it is a new address. In this email, it asked about talking to the folks at 75 East Bears Farm, but I don't see, looking at this map, how it's gonna affect them. This is from the pole going across the road to the other person's property. And it's in our right of way. I think that's why
Okay.
they have this permit.
All right, great. So, I would say let's go ahead and call whatever neighbor that they suggested. Bridget, do you mind doing that? But let's go ahead and vote on this. It's, electricity to build a new house, which means more tax base for us. So do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Larry makes the motion. Do I have a second? To sign the Washington
I can-
Electric?
I will second.
All seconds, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Everyone says aye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great night. And with that, we are at, town clerk's report. And introducing Amy Kavanaugh, our new town assistant.
Yep, actually, I wanted to introduce a volunteer tonight as well.
Okay, great.
And so Amy, last meeting, we passed around Amy's resume and her cover letter to the town, offering her services as an assistant town clerk. I'm just gonna read a summary. So I'm recommending her for town clerk position. She brings an unusually strong accuracy focused background. More than 25 years as a high school business educator, accounting, business law, business math, PC applications, 4 years processing tax documents at the Vermont Department of Taxes, and then financial services administration at Edward Jones. She already understands Vermont's tax form and document workflows, which make her a natural fit for this office.
Great.
And also we have Ed Pariseau, and Ed is offered to volunteer as an assistant town clerk. So an unpaid position, and I'll just go ahead and read Ed's background. They are a paralegal and title searcher, Gale Legal Group, whose background is especially well suited to land records and title work, and lives in Colchester and brings an enthusiasm for Vermont small towns, history and puzzle solving. They are a great fit for this work. They're also wonderful with residents researching land records. They are patient, kind, and thorough, and bring a working knowledge of municipal law to the office. I'm grateful for their volunteer help and noted that the position is unpaid. So at the end of the meeting, I just wanted to I'll go ahead and downstairs give them their oaths of office. If unless I have any objections, and then we'll go ahead and get those submitted to the county clerk's office.
Okay, great. And is Amy doing 8 hours a week?
Amy's within the budget constraints, 8 hours a week.
What, and how's that gonna look? I know you guys were talking about it, but I didn't hear you because I was texting my other stuff.
When you say how's it gonna look?
Like, are you coming in 2 days for 4 hours? Or-
So we're gonna do 2 days, 4 hours at 4 blocks in the morning.
Yeah.
And to get to the 8 hours, I'll still be responsible for the bandwidth of the town clerk responsibilities. Amy will be focusing on getting us up to date with our land reportings. And we'll be doing that, and also constituent services. With regard to titles and tax bills and making sure that people get what they need. And it's one of the things that drew me to M is that we had a gentleman stop in, and there was a mailbox dispute. And within 10 minutes, she had opened every book to find out if there was an easement. And so I'm really excited for the help.
Awesome. Yeah, you do an excellent job at recruiting. Including the website, which is the next thing, but do we have to take action to, I mean, you're within the budget, within what we budgeted, so do we need to take action? Yes?
You guys need to decide on our rate.
Oh, it's 25, right?
That's what was the suggested, so we're gonna go with that.
Great, if you do an excellent job, occasionally we give raises. Lying. No.
Can we take the oath tomorrow morning?
Whenever you guys want to do
Okay.
it. Yeah, it's just at our convenience.
Alright.
Yes.
Anybody have any
Unless-
questions before, cause I have to go?
No, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you both for your service to this town. It really does take a village. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
And you're welcome to stay.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll probably stay for.
Okay.
Most of it.
Okay.
So do we need to make a motion?
Okay.
No, we're good. All right, we're good at $25 an hour for 8 hours a week. Thank you so much, Amy.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, the rest of the items on the town clerk report, it's just admin work.
No, take your time. Let's talk about the website project, because again, you've found a bunch of volunteers to put together our new
Yeah.
website.
So Cindy, remind me Cindy's last name. Griffith. So Cindy Griffith, she's the head of the website committee. They will be functioning, along the same lines as the other committees, such as the budget committee. In an advisory capacity, we're moving them into a category where they would be, formalizing their agendas and their minutes.
So this is gonna be an ongoing committee. It's not just to put it together.
It's an ongoing committee and then, for as long as necessary. And then once the town administrator comes on board, they would coordinate with the committee to offboard the project and ensure that it's carried over with the vision that the committee has established along. They're also looking for a lot of feedback in the next month or so. They're gonna be putting, things on Google Docs and trying to get people to take a look at what they've produced thus far and give feedback. It's gorgeous, by the way.
Okay,
It's
great.
stunning.
I think, if they're forming an advisory committee, we do have to formally,
Well, that was
Yes.
something I wanted to, I was moving forward with the capacity of the open meeting law, but not necessarily, fully understanding the process to create a committee.
I mean, it's not like we're gonna say no, but I think officially the select board has to sign off on committees.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Okay,
and we know, that much more than you to
so
know that.
how about I do this? How about I send you and, I circulate the most recent meeting, discussions and list for you all the committee members.
That would be great, and I'll put it on the next agenda
Yeah.
just to make it
Make
official.
it formal.
Does that sound good to everybody?
So the migration is happening right now. They have approval, the Revise has the contract. They're an independent contractor to help us move through the process of getting the new site up and running. So the committee and then the clerk's office, my office approved the migration, and so we'll just, next steps will be getting feedback. And then there'll also be trainings in June and July, for those of us who are gonna be making changes. I understand that the site is gonna be very user friendly, so that committee chairs are gonna be expected, or not, perhaps not expected, but able to go on and make their own additions to the website. So, any minutes or agendas, it can be a group effort now, just not just responsible of the town clerk.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea.
And then, so we did the listers worked super hard. That was, I was super impressed, Shelley and Sam and Sean, getting together everything that they needed, in preparation for having the new, grand list available downstairs. It's available in the vault. People have been coming in, and then the listers have been having their grievance meetings this past week. And so that window has closed. And so I'm continuing to work with them to make sure that their information is super accurate on the website. They have their own page now for the reappraisal, and they'll be working with NEMRIC to get everybody's input. And for those Sean wants to talk about it.
I wasn't listening, I was looking at some nonsense.
So on the report, we were talking about the website, on my report, we were talking about the website. I mentioned how we have a new reappraisal button on the website, and that you guys were super amazing getting all of that work together, and the new tax assessment I don't know if all the grant lists is that, the book that we sort together on.
The abstract.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
okay,
Yes,
so,
yes. So with the website, there's a little tab for the reappraisal. We needed that, so in order to move forward with the townwide reappraisal. So before they could do the boots on the ground, we needed to have a spot on our website. So, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna leave door hangers, and the door hangers are gonna have a website for residents to be able to go look up and, so that's kind of what she's talking about.
Look up the changes.
Yeah, yeah, so
As it is, and there's a process of
Right.
going through, which is nice.
So we're thinking, we still gotta meet with them and talk with them, but that was something they were waiting on. But we just, I think yesterday, got the green light, so, I think maybe in a couple weeks. So we'll probably start putting out, once we meet with them, some communication.
and then as far as people getting, they work at the door, when do you project that those dates might be in case we
I'm gonna
get?
meet with us this Thursday to start printing things out.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think it's a couple weeks, but we'll be putting out communication before it happens.
okay, and so we
Right, thank you.
anticipate that the clerk's office would be busy with phone calls of people asking for information on that.
Yep.
And, steadily making progress on land reporting. Cheryl was nice enough to get us up to date to May 1. And
Hey, before you go on, you had said that you had approved the revised, the website and stuff. Did I forward that to everybody in the select board? Did you see that? The approval, okay, great. I just wanted to make sure that I did
Yeah.
that. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
We can catch up later.
And then, with land recording, Cheryl was great enough to get us caught up for May 1. We are still out of compliance. I'll be working very hard on that this week with Amy and with making steady progress. We created a daybook and was great enough to do that. And so at least we have, the town as recorded on paper in case a researcher comes in, they have easy access to the information of what's been submitted, even though it may not be in its final home.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And so that's a priority for us for the remainder of June.
Excellent. Great. And you know, you've got a big
Yes.
election coming up in
Yes.
August, so
So,
there's a lot of.
There's gonna be a training on the 22nd,
Okay.
Elections 101, so that's a Monday, so I'll be in South Burlington. I'm gonna see if or if Amy might wanna tag along, it's.
Yeah, I would, if I were you, I would reach out to as many volunteers as we normally have during elections and then offer it to whoever wants to go.
Yeah, and then I just need to get us all registered and then but it's open to all BCA members, all poll workers, that type of thing. So right now, we're getting requests for absentee ballots. There's a new page on the website that directs to the website that Cheryl told me about where you can go on to this, is it state website? It is a state website for voter registration.
My voting.
Yep. So that was another website update and, but yeah, so August 11th, is gonna be, the primary. And then we've got the November 3rd.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Thank you. Are you feeling like you're getting your feet under you?
Did you see the book? No.
The broken foot.
Yes. Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we're cruising.
Yeah, you're doing great with getting people to help along and
Yeah.
like, yeah, the more the merrier.
Yep.
So thank you so much. All right, we're good with that. And then we are moving on to treasurer's update and budget to actuals. You're welcome to come sit here if you want, okay? All right, tell you that. So we've got these budget to actuals in front of us. Did you send a copy to Stacy and Paul? I did not. Okay,
I'll do that.
you'll get a copy, Stacy and Paul, soon.
Sounds good, thank you.
Your copy when you come in to sign some documents.
Oh, yeah, Stacy, you need to come in and sign some documents, and now you will too, Paul, after tonight's meeting.
Okay.
Will do.
There are, for that WC, permit,
Yeah,
there's a spot for a signature on the front of that.
I can,
Did Eric just hand it to you?
he did just hand it to me.
I just wanna flag it. It should be, I should have handed that to you for, in the section for documents to be signed at the meeting.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. So it looks like in terms of general government, we're at 96.45% of our 100, which is good, because there's a couple more weeks of June.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to be under versus over.
I had a question on what we just approved to for the building fund. Am I in the right spot here? Under this is the town hall building fund?
No, it's coming from this building fund. Okay, there, it's not a budgeted item, it's just coming out of the.
Capital improvements.
Yeah.
Good, well, because this one says total capital improvement funds, but, okay.
Yeah, it used to be set that way and then they moved it back its own, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got $94,000 in the building fund, so we're gonna take 4 of it and that'll keep 90 left in that.
Okay, yeah.
So,
And where you see that there's money in and out on this sub-account report,
yeah,
so what it is like, when we did our
did you get a copy of this?
We did our physical year end stuff where I moved the money into the funds from our operating account. But then we also had expenses that needed to come out from the building fund, you know, like the heat system at the fire department, the heat system down at the highway department, all that stuff come out of those specific funds where you guys said to remove those, so that's why you see it
Okay,
in and out. Well, this is for the funds.
yeah, the capital improvement, do you have an extra one of these or not?
Mhm.
Oh, great, and that one worked too.
Yeah,
I think there's one there.
connect you,
And then Cheryl, yeah, if you wanna just like forward those to the budget committee, I feel like you guys have the capital, but,
yeah, we have that, but I don't think we have these up to date ones.
yeah. This is great, okay, do you wanna take us through this, is there anything, I guess we're a little bit over in,
There's always things that are gonna be.
Yeah, sure.
This year you guys we changed our health insurance midstream,
yeah,
so that jumped that up.
okay, that's why the general government, yeah,
The computer work that we all just had done for the migration and stuff, we don't have the money in the budget for that stuff. Because it was in the budget for last year and it wasn't utilized.
okay,
So now because of that, we just got the phase 4, these haven't been paid yet. $15,133.13 in RB Tech bills.
and is that coming out of asset and equipment?
That's my question, is if you guys want it to come out of there, but what I've done here is you can see that there's like, you know, we can take 4,000 from the discretionary fund, we can take 1,000 from equipment repair and admin, we could.
Is that what these notes are, your suggestions
Yeah.
on where to take it
We could.
versus
that way.
asset and equipment?
Yeah, it depends on how you guys want it to fall, we can take it out of that where it's already there and it's gonna keep the budget more in line, you know what I mean? So it's up to you guys, if you wanna take it out of asset and equipment money, or if you wanna take it out of each. There's wiggle room in each one of those, there's
Right,
$4,000 in the discretionary fund, which was what we originally gonna do. But all the little line items total $14,278.99. In, $1,500 for equipment purchases in the highway, we'll be taking in there. $2,000.
I think it sounds from what you're saying is it would be much cleaner for us to take it from the asset and equipment fund, yeah. Especially since it was budgeted prior year, it was probably dumped into this anyway.
Well, no, we had $40,000 sitting in the budget for it.
Oh, yeah, and so what did it go to general fund
Mhm.
afterwards, cause it wasn't used? So should we take it out of general fund because,
We can't do that,
okay,
so I'll have to just make a decision to come out of there.
what do you guys think? Asset and equipment fund that we have $151,189 in right now? Or do you wanna try to take from little piecemeal from underages of our budget? It's cleaner to go asset and equipment fund.
Is there any other items that will be coming out of that asset and equipment fund? I mean, where we have anything planned?
No, we've got,
There's not anything this year. The whole budget meeting we just had was focused on getting a little bit more structure and process around figuring out what's what funds are covering and how much more to be contributed at. That's sort of the longer story. I think the short story is that I would expect an expense like this to come out of the asset.
Yeah,
And I think that's what I'd like to see, just never come out of the asset.
that's what makes sense to me, that's what makes sense to Cheryl, that's what makes sense to this, to the budget committee. So do we have a motion to just take, that?
Well, and just so you know, this is, we still have 3 more phases that they've got to finish.
Right.
So more money will come out. So right now, we're just at a total of $15,133 per.
What's expected in the future, do you know?
I don't.
Any estimate? It's not gonna be another 15,000 though. Yeah, it'll be less than that.
Because we're coming down into the work. I mean,
Right.
it's been
We need like one more computer and
right, but that computer is gonna be.
in the
set
next year's
differently,
budget.
Yeah. And FY27, right? Because we won't be getting, because I've ordered it, but it's not gonna
Right.
be built until July 1st.
It doesn't need to be built until August 1st.
Right, okay, so good.
Yeah. So that's the time we're gonna need for the hiring committee and all that stuff. Okay, so do I have a motion to take the 15,000 plus from the asset and equipment fund that we have spent with RB Tech, upgrading all of our computers and systems and emails and all of that stuff?
I'll make that motion.
Larry makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I will second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
I,
Everybody agrees, so thank you, thank you.
So the
Yeah.
other thing is I did a tax rate training on the 2nd. That was actually really good. I got a lot of good information from that. Been working on delinquent tax bills and collecting money from people who haven't paid. Knocked on a few doors and handed people some bills and had some conversations. We've had a couple of people come in here that have medical issues that are working with the community fund to help with some payments there, so that's been really good. Working on the FEMA interest thing.
Yes, thank you for that.
And then payroll. Doing quite a bit of that, spike ground, we had some issues with that. Did some research with Larry Westover, who thought he had a bunch of liens on his property, there weren't nothing here.
So no liens.
No, he had no liens, so it's kind of.
Good.
And that's pretty much, I hate to say that's it, that's it. Accounts payable, payroll, got all the orders here.
Okay.
I've been doing quite a bit with RB Tech, so I'm glad that that's coming to us a little bit slow in.
Yeah, so Cheryl has, been volunteering above and beyond her job to do all of this, RB Tech stuff. And, as she mentioned, she is closing out the, interest rate from our FEMA loans that we had taken out in 2023 and 2024. So we have paid off our loans and we're about to get paid by FEMA once that paperwork is done and it goes through the system. So sometime in the next several months, we'll be paid back for that money too. So that'll help make us whole again and help our budgetary numbers.
And we did pay off, we paid the school in this batch of orders.
Okay.
For the Washington Central School District, we paid that, and we paid off one other loan, the Vermont Bond Bank.
Okay.
So right now, we only have that one loan left, and that's it.
What's the one loan?
Vermont Bond Bank, it's the last one that we rewrote,
Okay. How much?
824 principal.
Hopefully Portal Road is helping with a little bit of it,
Mhm.
get it down to 500,000.
Because I used my judgment on, we had a pot of money, and I wanted to say, okay, where we're gonna get our biggest bang for our buck. And so I paid off on the higher interest rate, even though it was due later, because this other interest rate is 1.99 versus 3.95.
That's smart, absolutely smart. I'd like to put this budget to actuals, maybe on our website. Cause I mean, everything looks good, like we're,
But also bear in mind too, I'm still waiting on my final adjustment entries from the auditor.
okay,
And that was the other thing, actually, I got the audit uploaded into the clearinghouse, working with Bonnie and stuff like that, and I actually got a couple more things back from her this morning. And then I gotta get the adjusting entries done, so she's gonna get those too.
great, fantastic. Yes, I know FEMA's been asking us for dirt tech, Yeah, whaling again, and it's been with Bonnie, so, yeah. Of course, so convergence of the two things happening at once. Well, when this is complete, it would be nice, you know, maybe we could put it on the website and maybe even do a front porch forum saying, for those of you wondering about the budget to actuals from last year, here's your comprehensive list, and you're welcome to take a look.
No.
Yeah, that's something else we could put on the website. I just, as much transparency as possible, I think
Yeah.
people wanna know.
I agree.
Okay, well, just for those of you who don't have it in front of you, the budget to actuals are looking good. As Cheryl has mentioned, there are a few things that need to happen, but mostly we're under 100%. I mean, we're right at it, the 96th percentile or whatever. But bravo, congratulations. You did a really good job on our budget this year. Thank you so much.
Everybody.
Well, thank everybody for withholding from buying whatever it was you want. I know how hard that is to do. All right, now Stacy, is Russ gonna come at 6:15?
He was a maybe. I assume he's not there. And he said he'd try and hop on via Zoom.
Should I wait until 6:15? Should we go do we wanna do the hiring committee for town administrator and road commissioner first?
Yeah, I mean, I'd give him a chance to show up.
Okay,
We're running pretty ahead of schedule.
yes, we are.
It's gonna be your forte.
That's right. Okay, well, hopefully everybody got the list of folks for the hiring committee. We had. I got it somewhere. I swear I do. Here we go. What's that, Paul?
I was pretty excited with the turnout we had.
Yeah, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people for the hiring committee. Rob Penny wrote us, but it was more of a suggestion to put things through chat GPT. I don't think he was asking to be on the
Gotcha.
hiring committee.
Yep.
So I don't believe, did you guys all get, first of all, the letters that I was forwarding, I know this has been kind of ongoing all month, so I know it's hard to keep track. But Bridget did, a little write-up for us of, the hiring people, the folks who asked to be on the hiring committee and kind of their strengths and stuff. Did you get that at least, so we can?
I think I just sent that to you, son.
I think I forwarded it to everybody.
Okay.
Now, a little wrinkle that came up earlier, we had talked about who was gonna be on the hiring committee. Eric is gonna be gone in July, so he can't be on the hiring committee, nor does he really want to, dedicate another hour a week or whatever, however the hiring committee is gonna go. So what had we said originally? Paul, do you remember? I might have to look up some notes.
Off the top of my head, sorry, I do not.
Yeah, I have to look up some meeting minutes, but I think it was really up in the air, and the budget committee said they didn't wanna have a member on the hiring committee, did they? No.
It was gonna be Eric. It was gonna be Eric, someone from the clerk's office, either like Bridget or Cheryl, and myself and 2 members from the public. But
Does it make sense, Stacy, does it make sense since a hiring committee is just gonna give us the best 2? Do you wanna be on the committee as well, or do you wanna just be
No.
presented as?
I have no desire to be on the committee.
And
But,
honestly, I talked to you.
I was just saying, we have some really qualified people in the town that are interested in taking up this role, and I see absolutely no reason that like I would need to insert myself. Like all of these folks, appear quite qualified and capable. So that was why I'm like, I don't know. I don't need to be here, especially considering that their job is to present the select, make a recommendation to the select board.
I agree.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll say, and we've got such a great pool of candidates, why not really exercise their abilities?
Okay, great. Well, what I was thinking was, in that case, that we could kind of vote California style and put our top 5, people of who we would want. And, maybe give it to Cheryl to figure out who got the most votes, and does that make sense? Like, how do we pick the 5?
How many applicants we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
But I think Rob's on the list too, so,
No, I took him off.
okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Zara, does anybody have anything against having all of those folks? I'm not trying to muddy the waters, but why not let them hash it out? I feel like we've got a great pool of candidates. Why not just leave it as it is?
7? Radio 7?
I'd support that.
Okay. That works for me.
Either one of you guys wanna be on the committee? Are you guys gonna be on the committee?
I think they're both feeling like they're doing a lot anyway, right? I mean, I thought you might want some input, but honestly, we've got, what, 4 so far? I don't think we let these 7 people do it, and then they just narrow it down to 2 and give it to the select board.
Sounds good. I can be available to like do any admin copies or anything like that, but
Thank you.
yeah.
And maybe her and I can just sit in when you, when the select board is narrowing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do-
As will Eric, yes.
There you go.
Do we wanna appoint, of these 7 people, want a lead to run the,
I would say that we say that the 7 would,
Get together.
they would pick their lead, just like any other committee.
So I guess we could distribute to them the list, or just the emails.
Honestly, what I will do is I will get in touch with all 7 of these
Excellent.
folks, and I will just let them know that congratulations, you're on the hiring committee.
Yes.
You need to figure out when your next meeting is, and I'll go to the first meeting just to help them set up who's gonna be the chair, who's gonna be the vice chair, who's gonna take notes, how to do recordings, if they need to do that. Although I feel like it's almost an executive session thing, like advisory bodies don't need to do recordings. They do need to do minutes, so I'll let them figure out if they wanna figure out the computer or just.
questions, actually?
Go ahead.
Sandy Levine, can you just identify who the 7 people are?
Sure. So we would have Kimberly Hagan, Julie Moore, Hal Elms, Sky Baruch, Jessica Bowden, Marianne Mullen, and Tom Jackman.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Zara, one question, have we come up with the rating system? I don't remember us having done that, so what information do we need to provide them, or would they come up with something? I don't remember.
Well, I thought that they were gonna come up with the rating system. So that'll be, I think what we can do as select board members is maybe write up some bullet points, and certainly, Paul, if you wanted to be there, the first meeting, but if not, just give me some bullet points, you guys. For some, what we're looking for, qualification, it's already written in the job description, so, I mean, I feel like I could just set up the 7 and let them have at it, they'll figure it out, these are all hiring professionals.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, give them the materials that we've compiled, as far as the job description, and I agree with you, these folks probably a lot more capacity in this specific role than most of us, so I don't have that.
Yeah, we'll just let them run with it.
Zara?
Yes, Bill.
Is there any state requirements for depositions? Just to double check so you make sure, no state rules about, their selection and stuff like that.
No, in terms of forming committees that are, advisory bodies.
It's
That
up to
can,
you.
it doesn't have to be like 5 or 3 or 7 or anything like
No,
that.
any ruling, certain things they have to abide by state law.
Yeah, so I will set them up the
Okay.
first meeting to make sure that they elect a chair and a vice chair and
The
have somebody
basics.
take minutes and that they know that those
Who they gotta
minutes.
answer to and what they gotta say, yeah, okay.
Exactly. And then all they'll be doing is just narrowing down the top 2 candidates from both positions and then bringing it to the select board so that ultimately we'll make the decision.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did we vote on that or no? Was that-
I think we vote that we've got a hiring committee. So would you like to make that
I
motion?
make the motion that we hire these 7 as the hiring committee for the town administrator.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Stacy seconds. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right, congratulations, you 7, and thank you so much for coming to our rescue. And I would say as applications come in, we'll figure out who the chair is. But I would just send it to the whole select board and then the chair of that, committee, and they can then forward to their other
Do we
members.
wanna do we wanna have the committee, I understand from the documents that were produced thus far that the deadline is the 27th of this month for resumes? Are we,
Is that true?
that's what it said,
I haven't
not League of cities and towns.
Is it, okay, I haven't put the road commissioner out at all. So I had hoped to extend that until July 15th.
Do we wanna just update League of Cities and Towns?
Sure.
Do we wanna
I can
have
do
the
that.
hiring committee pick another date, or do you wanna pick another date?
No, I'm gonna have them, I'd love to have them formed as soon as possible and then start doing, so they can then read the resumes and then they can start doing interviews after the 15th of July. And then we can have somebody hopefully August 1st or thereabouts.
Yeah. I was just hoping the pool would be a little bit bigger.
Well, exactly, and I'm gonna post it in a few more places and I agree.
And anyway,
I think I can even put it on LinkedIn.
Okay,
That'll take care of,
okay, cool.
but thank you for change date. And you get July 15th, July 10th, what do you think, guys?
I think a resume should just be accepted on a rolling basis until the position is filled. I don't know. I don't
No,
think
I think that's honestly, that's what I was thinking. Although we do have some good applicants, which is great.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so that's what I will do. Until position is filled.
And this committee will do the road commissioner once it's up and.
I'll put it the road commissioner, yeah, it's done. Stacy sent me the,
Right, this hiring committee we just formed.
They're gonna
will
do
the-
both.
Oh, okay.
And I did put it on the website, the announcement.
great, if you wouldn't mind changing that one to,
Is there a newer?
it's, the date is, on a rolling basis until, I would just say until position is filled.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fix the VLCT one, stuff going forward. All right, good work, guys. What is it, 6 o'clock?
I'm reluctant to start the class 4 policy discussion and ahead
I
of
know,
chippy.
yeah, exactly.
I
Wait.
can talk a little bit.
Oh, wait, I had, before you even start though, I actually do have a couple of things, and I'm so sorry because this should have been under town clerk. South Bear is having a issue getting the certified mail that you sent out, I heard from Mike Klein. So I'm wondering if we should make phone calls or send emails. I might have some of those folks' emails addresses.
Any information that you have, that would be great.
Yeah, I feel like we should send an email at least, just to remind people of,
Yeah.
next Tuesday, our special meeting, yeah. And then, also, Bridget sent us a town hall, somebody had asked about our propane usage, I think, Paul, maybe you had asked about how.
Bill, it was Bill.
Oh, Bill, you had asked, we did get some preliminary results, it isn't a huge it's a huge savings, it looks because they had billed through the year, and we're only billed, so it's only 2 of like 4 for the whole year, but we are definitely saving compared to last year. So Bill, I'm gonna say that information is incomplete, but
That's okay, it's proved its value, so that.
it has
I
proved its
think,
value.
when you get the things, put it on Front Porch Forum to show the people what has happened and what the results of it, so that they can see that, we're going in the right direction, or the thoughts are there. But,
Yeah, once we,
Go ahead.
Kevin mentioned that was primarily due to insulation over and above the window inserts, just as a.
right, yes, they did some things up
Yeah.
there. So at the end of the year, when we get the rest of the billing, there's an April bill and there's something else that's coming to our way. We'll do a review of that. Don't let us forget, Bill.
Thank you.
Yep, you got it. All right, Stacy. I'm so sorry. I go.
Sign the orders. Something.
Oh, we can sign orders while we wait,
Let me see.
or do you wanna move, or do you wanna go?
Might as well, like, I think I have a couple,
If
I can do like an intro, and I think if we get to like 5 after 6 and like, we cannot like, I've got stuff, I've got notes, anyways that I wanted to share with the board, and if I'm still talking when Russ hops on, then that would be awesome, but if not, then we'll just, like, we'll be talking again. So, so I've mentioned CHIP in a couple of different contexts. The acronym stands for like Community Housing Infrastructure Program. It's legislation that was just enacted this past year. It's good for the next 10 years or so, and opens up a program for municipalities to pursue tax incremental financing, also known as TIFs, for purposes of encouraging the development of new primary residences for households of low and moderate income across rural and urban areas in Vermont that would not be created but for the infrastructure improvements funded by the program. So it's really geared towards infrastructure. And when they say infrastructure, what they're talking about, and I say this because, like, this came up a lot at town meeting 1 and town meeting 2 on like how can we like make Middlesex more affordable, like, and frankly, we need just like we're kind of limited in our income streams and the way the town can collect like just revenue streams are limited, right? I know the budget committee would have a lot to say on that. So development is one way that we can increase our grand list value, increase our tax base, and just generally try to like buoy the community at large. So infrastructure that's eligible for this kind of financing includes water, wastewater, and stormwater, transportation and streetscapes, utilities and energy, site prep, and related costs to any of those, like retaining an engineering or architectural firm. So what it doesn't apply to, it doesn't include things like annual municipal operation costs. It doesn't include public transportation operating costs, annual maintenance, repair, buying new vehicles, or furnishing interiors. And for the infrastructure to be eligible for this financing, it has to serve a public good and it has to directly support an eligible housing development. They have to be related. And so the reason why it's like the so what is that our Middlesex Village stands to benefit. You know, there's a number of different things that have been kicked around over the years in terms of infrastructure development for the village in particular, and just like that down, I don't know what you call it, downtown. Oh, there's Russ, downtown
There's
area. And you know, so there's Middlesex has a lot to gain from this, but we can't like, you know, we're not necessarily looking to do it all by ourselves. And that's where Russ and the Colby Road development comes in, because they are, you know, considering a significant development that, if it fits within the parameters of CHIP, you know, could end up offering some very like mutually beneficial opportunities for Middlesex to upgrade its own infrastructure, you know, while also supporting the development of additional housing units on the Colby Road development, which I assume is kind of like, so I wanted Russ to talk a little bit about what's going on Colby Road and his vision for that development and where they are. This is like what I would call a handshake conversation. There's VLCT has provided lots of wonderful bullet point like lists of questions to ask. Like there's so many steps, you know, and the first is just like saying you're in, you know, for the town, the first is just saying, you know, we submit a notice of interest after having a lot of conversations about whether this makes sense, whether this fits the CHIP's eligibility. You know, and from there, there's like contracts, there's voter engagement, there's site visits, there's so much bureaucratic paperwork. It's a really long way. You know, this is like a 2-year conversation, I think. And ideally, the TA can come and buoy that once they're up to speed. But I think, you know, the time is now to start having this conversation and think about it, because there's so much preparation that goes into it, and both in terms of educating ourselves, the select board, as well as educating our voter base, because this is something that would end up coming, like, would probably need to be voted on as an authorized project. Well, Larry needs a nap.
Sorry.
I'm putting Larry to sleep. So yeah, good. All right, so I'll hand it over to Russ to just tell us a bit about like what's going on Colby Road, and you know what might CHIP and the town sponsorship of a CHIP program for Colby Road look like in this, you know, a perfect world.
Thanks for the time. Well, unlike everybody, we don't really know what all the details are to the funding that CHIP might really be and how it's actually going to be implemented. But it makes sense to learn all we can right now, right? So that we can make as many mistakes as possible up front.
Right.
And then sort of get it right. But I think a couple of things, our plans that we've showed you before are still the same. I sort of took a bit of a hiatus for a year, a little over a year, of trying to push everything forward at once. Because there's change in the air, right? So if there's relief in the air as well, let's wait for that. But simplistically put, Colby Road is a town road. And when we first bought it, I know they were thinking about throwing it up. And I said to the select board, if you do, you can't get it back. And I don't know whether it's good or bad for us really, but as a citizen and another town and stuff, I would recommend you keep it. Because then you have real control about it, you know? And it's not very long. It was built by the interstate. Actually, that's how the thing got named Colby, because at first I couldn't figure that out. So the farm was here long before Colby. So how did Colby get it to be named? Then we figured it out. Well, that Center Road didn't go down through there. And then they built that and put Colby, what we call Colby Road now, into the Colby farm. But what our plans look like, conceptually, are that where the road is now, it's just sort of curves down and then takes a bit of a right and then it becomes not a town road or a road. We want to have where the Daycott here wants to be, which is, you have to rise up to, when you go into Colby Road, I call it the lumpy field, boing, boing, boing. It gets higher and higher. In that field, we want to make 3 plateaus that will allow for, between 4 and maybe 5 triplex units with a green space in the middle and all that stuff. Of course, you know, it's, you imagine things and they go, oh, there's a lot more space. But, we would want to move where the road is now, if you're coming into the property. You sort of go around where the dragon's teeth are, that's another clue, on the right. And then you want to sort of go along where it rises up there, so that we get up to that level above, where there's, you know, some containers, and that's where we let the wood for good, or goods for wood, get stored and all that kind of jazz, and then we'd be on that plateau. And, so that would be a conversation with the town. Hey, town, we want to move your road. What do you think about that? Like a bad idea. But you might not. But what I think sort of imaginarily, I mean, we know we're committed to at least 10% of all housing will be subsidized in some way, but on income. And then we want to have other housing that will be probably not subsidized as hard in that way, but there will be middle class priced at a way that somebody can, that makes an average wage could buy. So that would be subsidized somehow, but not necessarily with federal money. And then, so that puts us, I think, well, I'll say what I think. I think what I want, what we're doing, is meeting or exceeding any collection of housing in a mixed way than most any developer will do. And part of that is because I think that we all know what discrimination looks like, and we know that it's immoral. But economic discrimination seems not to be. And I don't want to build a clump of units or houses that are, oh, that's where the poor people live. Okay, so you can tell it's built more crumbly or whatever the heck it is. Want to have them all jumbled in so that we be with each other. You know, when you can be on the ambulance and have any kind of income, and that brings people together. So that's philosophically what I'm hoping to do. I'm planning on doing. I mean, it's so, you know.
Do you have a number of units in mind?
Yes.
Is that just like the idea phase, or you're really?
No, we have, we've done rough placement over where it's easiest for the zoning to allow, et cetera. That phase 1 would be the things that I've showed you before, which are the daycare building, any building that gets built.
And I would say this is such a new board. If you've sent things to the select board, we have a fancy new email system. It's just selectboard@middlesexvermont.org, and it'll go to all of the new members.
Okay, well, I think what I can do is send a packet to you, and then I can come and show you what we have planned. Now, we know the permitting process will have some impact upon that, but then some of this will make some sense. But at any rate, I want to see mixed development from an economic standpoint, because if the wealthy want to go and keep the hoi polloi away from them, well, let's go to another Hong Kong. Right. Okay. So that's just my values. The first phase, that road, we were just talking about, the Colby Road was sort of moved to the left and end up on the top there. And then the T where the old road was and goes down and used to cross the stream, and we can have a site visit whenever you want. That would then have a downsloping road from there, so that it would connect back onto the old road. And then we'd have an exception that would be, there's a beautiful stream and little water fall there. And that's where the road has been forever and a day. I don't want that to be the road because it's too beautiful. It should be walking, all that stuff. So there's another way we can get through a seam and blast a little bit and get up to that other bit. But phase one is the daycare facility, which will be 3.5 stories, something like that, and then a basement, and that's where we wanna put the daycare for 150. And there was also,
150 kids?
yeah, that's the most you can do,
Okay.
in one, thing, that's the rule. And there'll be apartments or units or whatever, we're not gonna sell any land either. You get a land lease, long-term kind of a thing, because we don't want people to be able to
Hack up the.
hack it up and,
Yeah.
have it in a different way. Everybody's in that, you're in the soup or you're not. So that's the first building that we wanna do, and we're waiting for our partner in that to get ready, and we get ready. Then there'll be another building on, and the other thing that will be a race for is the Lumpy Field. We wanna build that housing first, and that will be, like I said, 4 to 5 triplexes. We might change them from being each a 3-bedroom. When originally I designed it, I was thinking, well, you can buy a 3-bedroom, you can then end up make it, some of them so that they're 88. For one level living, and then when the family wants to come and visit, well, they got the upstairs, but there will be some people that won't want to do it in that way, so we're gonna rethink a little bit about how that goes together. So that's that first part, and so that'll be each triplex. So it'll be 12 or 15 units, times 3, if it's 3 bedrooms, so there's quite a little bit of humans that come in there. And then the next building, will be sort of a little bit towards, there's a gorge, a little gorge, a drainage sort of gorge. Back into that, a barn-like gable roof type thing. It has entrance at ground level in the basement, but they were going to be buried into the side of the hill, so that could be used for manufacturing or, other kinds of things like that. And then the next floor up will be half, and we left room for a little coffee house there someplace, because if we got 150 kids over here, this coffee's gotta be had.
Absolutely. And chocolate milks.
Yeah, but I mean, people will interact with each other. That's part of what we wanna do is, like we do at Camp Mead, we try to trick people into getting together. So we use the tools of what works. So that, think of it as this is a long kind of a building. You can enter and have the little coffee place here and, deliveries over here. And then this part of it will be below grade, because the grade goes like this. And then it'll be gamble roof there. And we'll have on about half of that, an indoor meeting kind of space, which could be
Community
like this.
space.
It could be a meeting space, you could have a little event there. I'm not a real fan myself of, making the wedding industry be part of what goes on. I would like it to be less a motion. There, and then there'll be 3 or 4 apartments or units in that. So every single building that we build,
And the apartments, how many bedrooms?
3.
Okay, so everything is planned for 3 bedrooms?
Pretty much, I mean, but we know once we get into it, we might go, oh, it'd be better to do this and have just 2 bedrooms here, or, you know, it'll change a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's the beginning premise,
Okay.
cause that's the ideal house in America, generally, you know.
Actually, I'm just thinking for affordability, it's usually young
Understood.
couples who are
Yes.
starting.
Right, but we don't want them to have to move out, so, you'll get used to this a little bit. I will drift to another topic for a minute, which is, we're working to come up with other ways to finance, the housing. So, this would be one of the very few things that I agree with, Mr. Trump on, which is a 50-year mortgage, or perhaps even longer, might be part of the solution if we can put that together and put that financing together. Because if you think about 50 years, if you bought your house 50 years ago, the first place I lived in Vermont, cost $11,500. Needs a lot of work. It's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that mortgage then was minuscule compared to that. So when you look at it over the longer term, you can actually get more money if you have the patience to wait. So it's gonna take some different kinds of thinking there. So that's that. So those are the 3 buildings we're thinking about, or clumps of buildings. Triplex, the daycare, and barn-like structure, which is sort of like the Cathedral of Vermont. And then along with that, some of you guys might not know this, we drilled wells. And they're permitted, all of this kind of jazz. And we know, well, we haven't repriced it lately, we know about what it would cost us to do the piping and all of that kind of stuff to have our own water system. But I think this chip idea it also comes up with another way to finance what that would be, because I think that Middlesex needs a municipal water system in order to be able to have more density down here. And you know, we look at it, we think we get used to it, and the way it is the way it is, and there's probably no room for housing, but there really is. And from Route 100B up the cross of the Winooski into back into Moortown is as big as Waitsfield downtown. So when you start to think about that, you go, oh, you can sneak some things in here, you could do some stuff like that here, and we could have some housing. I think any, you know, you've heard my rant before, Sandy, but I think in the commercial districts like here, that it would be wise to have new construction have to be 2-story. So that you
Are building up.
you at least build the vault, and then that can be built out, and then you have walkable towns, and you have people living in town, and you don't have just commercial buildings with no life in it. So So those are all things that I think would meet the criteria, the imagined criteria for working together. That's really what I would be looking to do if there's something that makes some kind of sense here. Not to take advantage, but to, I think, try to create the town in the way that it wants it to be, that can, you know, be something vital in another 50 years. You know, much more built out, et cetera, in a way that's walkable. You know, because my other fantasy is we need the train to stop.
Oh, train to stop in Middlesex.
Middlesex. So you guys know the answer to this, but in 1860, which is what the peak of population was in Vermont, and it went downhill for 100 years in a freaking row until the end of the 1960s. Railroad was built in the 1850s. How often do you think the train stopped in Middlesex?
No idea.
4 times a day. 4 times a day. They had mass transit. No, we don't. More cars. We need to get there. There's room for 2 tracks there. There used to be 2 tracks there. So, I can fantasize, obviously. But this gives you a sense of what I imagine that this chip option is a way for us, I think, to have conversations to see how we can work together to create. I mean, you guys you're the parents of Middlesex for a while. To say, what you want to grow up to be.
And Stacy, you've been doing the research with the chip, the grant and things like that. So what are you thinking?
So like there's 2, I have like Rez has answered a number of questions that I had teed up. For example, like Full Vision, like this is a large mixed use project intended to complement the current Middlesex Village configuration. If Sandy's in the room and wants to be the resident like commentator on how this fits in with like the current like the current plan. I mean, because we have time, but I also don't want to necessarily I want to be sensitive to just how much time we allocated today. But I'd love to hear Sandy's input on that. I think the key issues is just there's two infrastructure opportunities here that we can continue this conversation as to like whether it makes sense for either or both of them to be just considered for CHIP. One is the Colby Road development improvement or just straight out modification. It is our the select board. Like we have the right and ability to move a road. We also have we can upgrade it, change it, modify it. Whatever the changes need to be made to a town-owned road would fit within that infrastructure element for this program, as would municipal water. And like to the extent that there's enough water at the Colby Road property to benefit both that property and also the Middlesex Village. In conversations I've had with Kevin in the past, commercial sprinkler systems need really good water, and that's one of the big things that we don't really talk about in terms of holding any development back in Middlesex Village. And maybe that's really is just dreaming, but having an upgraded water supply could potentially increase development opportunities, commercial opportunities. I'm not, it's sort of hard to say how much we're limited by something that we don't currently have. But there's lots of, we've got smart people who can figure that out. So if Sandy's there, you guys both looked to your right. So I assume she's still in the wings. And if she can just chime in briefly about town plan and just if she has any thoughts on CHIP, that would be awesome. But also, I don't mean to I'm putting her on the spot, and she can politely decline the invitation.
She's ready.
I'm
Okay.
fine. I'm
Cool.
here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, I'd say the planning commission has heard from us. He's come to our meeting. He showed us the plans. For the most part, we've been very excited about it and supportive of it. It fits well with what is that area is planned for and zoned for. it certainly complements the village. We worked together a little bit to look at a water system, and absolutely the village would really benefit from a water system. We don't have the customers currently now in the village to really support a water system, even though we do have buildings in the village that do not have very good water supply. It's a mixed bag, like some places have great water and other places have miserable.
Is everybody on a well?
It's a hodgepodge. Or worse, it's a well or worse. So there's some water coming over across the bridge, across what used to be the bridge.
Yeah.
Some still comes over from, I guess that's Moortown.
Yeah.
Some's on a well. Yeah. And then some up by where you are, you've got like a lot of water up by Camp Mead. They've got like, the river's right there, right? But anyway, so, and the water would be key, and if you could, and when Russ talked with us before, like the incremental cost of being able to build the water system at, the Colby property a little bit bigger so it could supply the village is not that much more, but it would be a tremendous benefit. And again, for any commercial operations in the village, sprinkler system, I mean,
You can't
you can't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
this building alone wouldn't survive anything like that. So we've already had a church burn down. So, you know, I think that would certainly be a priority, and Chip certainly fits it well. I looked at it, my eyes glazed over. There's no way a group of volunteers can figure that application out.
Exactly.
Just can't. Which is why I just sort of said, well, this is a nice idea. Maybe, you know, someday there'll be some professionals to pick it up and run with it. But,
Is it a rolling basis, the CHIP grant, or is there a deadline?
It's applications are accepted until like 2035.
Oh, okay.
So yes, and also, you know, there's it's a set amount. The reason why it's like I you know, sooner is better than later is because it's a designated amount, and there's a lot of towns that have already that have been watching this legislation, you know, for some time and have got projects in the queue and are already scooping out of that pot. So that's the thing. Yes, there's 10 years that the program is open and applications are accepted on a rolling basis. The amount available, you know, is limited. And so I think to the extent that, you know, we're able to, if we identify needs and it makes sense for the town and you know, the voters agree, I don't see us doing anything major until after town meeting next year, so that, you know, to have this issue fully vetted and approved, that we can put it, you know, we can warn it seems like an optimal timeline, you know, if everything else lines up in term, you know, including the program, the development itself and its eligibility and whether it makes sense for the town. So hopefully a TA would be able to buoy that along. But you know, so yeah, there you go. 10 years, first come, first serve.
What's that? Oh, hi, Steve, go ahead.
So we had, Russ was here, I don't know, what, fall of 22. I think the first time I heard you talk about this, maybe the fall of 23.
Yeah.
When the Latin and we're out for this. And I just wanna know if there's gonna be any type of study done for the upkeep and cost if the town would decide to go with it, as far as what it would cost the town. Because I don't know, has anybody else here, other than me, been a part of a municipal water project, actually in construction?
No, I think.
And seeing the upkeep cost of it, because if people think the budget was high this year, they're gonna scream when you propose the budget for the maintenance on this project. It would probably easily double our town budget.
So that will be one of the things, is getting all the numbers together, because we would have to put everything in front of the voters. So, but so the plan, I think, is what I'm hearing from you, is that we're going to get a town administrator to basically help you, Stacy, spearhead this mission along with the planning commission and Russ.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like, yeah, it's gonna be a team effort. Again, like assuming that really basic threshold requirements are met, like its infrastructure, that it meets the eligibility. One of the things, and Russ maybe can weigh in on this, but minimum entry level is that 60% of the total square footage of the development is dedicated to housing. Is that safe to assume that the mixed use meets that threshold?
Yeah,
Okay.
And hold on a second, Matt.
I just have, so I need two questions. One is just when the town's looking at things like this, when do environmental and flooding and like if we're talking about something this size, traffic patterns, because 150 kids alone would overwhelm that section of Center Road, I think. But I don't wanna my questions would be, is flooding a concern there, especially with the talk of moving the road? I would think that there's a lot of water that's gonna go from the McCully Hill side down, cause that's what I observed. And so like, has flooding studies been done around?
well, we haven't done particular kind of thing, but the way the land is sloped. If you think about going up Center Road.
Yeah.
Colby's on the left. All of the development is
Oh, I see.
below that. Below that berm, the field that you can
Yeah.
see bits of. All the development is below that. The lumpy field is lower than the center road.
Yeah.
So all of that water, and we've had some amazing rain in the last couple of times. So where that bridge used to be, the little crossover bridge, that I used to always walk up there with people and go, now look at that. So see those stones down there, they're put there in the line, you could feel those humans and the oxen or whatever that did that. And we had laid a few logs across that, so you could walk across that little thing. And one of the last high water events that we had, that water took out some of the lower rocks, and it came up to like that far below the logs that crossed there. Which means to me, that was well over 100-year amount of water, of glob of water, it's not on all the state. Yeah, but, because that hadn't happened, and so we had already just started, we didn't do anything with that one, because it held its own in a way, it would be nice to redo it. But the farmers, the Colbys, had little culverts all over the place. They were like 16 inch or 12 inches or whatever. And they were just like, boom. So we, everywhere where we placed those, we tripled or quadrupled the capacity for those to take that water and leave it unencumbered, basically. But it's going to get worse. But all of that water, if you think about it simplistically, we call it the field, the interstate field. That around that field is where the water goes, and it goes under the interstate way deep down. So, and there's enough wetland and all that kind of stuff to absorb many NOAA levels of flooding. So I'm not that worried about those things. Where the water goes, it knows, and that's not likely to change much there. We're cognizant about what needs to be done in order to make sure that we have proper runoff and all those kinds of things. The devil's in the details. I think, to your point about what's it cost, how you're gonna do the upkeep. One of the things that I think that is possible here is you have us and we we can build our own water system and make it make economic sense. But we can't upsize the main pipes to the size that the town would need in the future on our own. And the same with the reservoir for all of something down here. So what I've had our engineers do is say, okay, here's what you need. And I've said, well, okay, if we need to do for the long term, we don't know how big development could be over the next years. Well, we should double that, or whatever you think it is, the capacity of the reservoir. Because adding on to that would be insanely, be more expensive than doing the first thing. And then you just don't fill it, until the town comes along. And the other thing that I know from working on the water system in Waitsfield is, it's generally about 80% is federal and state money. So it's 20% you have to come up with. And we, whatever we are, the galaxy of yes, can probably come up with a good portion of that because of what we would be doing for ourselves. And then that would make it be that you wouldn't, the towns sort of freak out because they have to get to where they say, oh, we have enough people that want water Wednesday on the day after we put it in to be able to pay for this. And I think we could probably get it done so that you wouldn't have to be saying, okay, and let's build 50 houses and a whole bunch of stuff, enough units to pay for the whole thing, the whole 20% or 10% or whatever might be less. So I think that the cost to own it can be this chip thing. It could be a nightmare, we don't know, but it could be between well-meaning people. I think we can look out for the economic impact that putting infrastructure in place could be for the future. Because that's always the towns never have enough money until they get to be big enough to have a municipal system. And so it's a catch-22, and your regular landowners and what they can't, they can maintain their own property, but they can't maintain anymore. But that's not good. It doesn't have your economics lining up with what good planning is and what you want to have over time. So I'm here just to say I'm a willing partner to get where you might want to go. And if you don't want to go, then we said we'd help you, and you didn't want it, and so we're not going to cry. I mean, we're not going to.
Let's get it in front of the town. If we can do enough work between now and March to put it in front of the voters, then we'll have a larger group to make that decision.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I love a good like recap. And so what I would say is that for next steps, what I would plan to do is, Russ, I'm gonna send you just like a list of some additional questions that you can take your time in replying to, that I would circulate to the board, that can help us like frame the issues that we need to talk more about in greater detail. Either like I meet with you, or you and I meet with the planning commission, or you meet with the TA once we have a TA hired, whatever it is. But I think it should be a swap, because I haven't seen, I've heard of the development plans, but I would love for you, you send to me or send to the board the design plans so that we can, get a sense of, or for those that aren't familiar, we can take a look at it. And then once that's done, we can reconvene and discuss. But I think I've got more questions that I would be looking for very specific answers that you might not necessarily have, like when you're not at your desk. And so to the extent that we can do that, if you'll humor my attention, then that's what I think we should plan on doing.
Sounds great.
And Stacey,
Wow.
if you can include me with the planning commission,
Yeah,
on that, so just to keep us in the loop.
absolutely. We'll kind of keep the thread going that we have right now.
Some email addresses, that goes to all of us on the
Okay.
board, as well as the town clerk, and there's Stacy is, select board too.
I gathered that from our email.
Perfect.
I heard.
We just got new emails, I'm very
Yeah,
excited.
well, yeah.
I can do
I
it on
wondered
my
about
phone
the
now.
rating, that number rating. How'd you get number 2? Cause I had number 1.
Perfect, I think it's a great discussion and a great start. Again, Star, I know you've been to the
Yeah.
board several times, you got a
Yeah.
whole new board now, basically.
That's good.
But
Yeah,
change is good.
yeah.
So great, thank you so much, that's a great presentation, and we'll continue to kind of move forward on the possibilities.
Yeah, 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 I think I hope we have the same goals in mind. I'm pretty sure we do.
Yeah, and
How do we do it?
once we hire this new town administrator, we'll have a whole new body.
Oh, that's the huge.
Yes, it's gonna be huge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that should be happening in August, and yeah, that should give us some time between now and March.
Awesome. And we have that reminder of water.
But that's keeping us from the next flood, so.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Russ, I really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Russ.
Okay, now for this next part, Paul, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm trying to find the copy of, the latest, where we were at, kind of,
So you'll have to get it, Zara, from the one that I sent both you and Rob. I
Yeah,
did not
yeah.
mass distribute that, just busy week and not having really thought
no,
much
that's
about
okay.
it. But that's where it is. And that's in a Word document that can easily be
Okay,
obviously
so
altered.
Stacy, do you
Yeah.
mind if I forward this to you and have you call it up, and, so that when we talk about this?
I can, but so you guys know, I have like a very hard stop at 7.
We all have a hard stop at 7.
Excellent.
So I am forwarding this to you right now. And this is, you weren't at the last meeting, but we did discuss, class 4. And this is, the notes that Paul revised, of that class 4 discussion. So we're still
Stacy,
working.
what I ended up doing, we found that all of the options that I think you had provided us offered a lot of context. Unfortunately, what it did is it offered us so much, it kind of made us very indecisive and almost inconclusive in making forward momentum. So we built off of our current and used edits and suggestions from Michael Levine's, some things we took from the packet that you had provided us, and we just kind of went down line by line, and it seemed to have allowed us to make a little more progress.
Sorry, I don't know what you sent me, but I don't think it's what you meant to send me.
Oh,
Well-
no, it's not.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, I know it, like, yeah, I think, try again.
I must have filed it, hold on. I feel like I've got it, there's no attachment.
Is it what you sent me earlier?
Did I send you something about the class 4 working?
You sent it to Michael?
Yes,
Okay, I can send it to Stacy.
Stacy and to Larry, please, and to me, actually, just send it up to the whole select board, thank you.
Select, if I send to select board.
At middlesexvermont.com, org, it'll go to all of us. Sorry about that, I don't know where I have filed it. Too many things in this file.
We got it.
It's gonna take a little, did you get it?
Yeah.
Maybe our new email system isn't as great as we hoped it was. Yeah. I have to confuse myself, yeah. I should have asked Michael when he was here, I did have somebody call me and I'm walking on Colby Road and somebody got stopped. I was told they couldn't walk there. I'll have to email him later. All right, well, while we're looking for this to come through, it still hasn't come through. So while we're waiting for this, I will say, I did get a message from somebody, who was stopped and told that they couldn't walk on Colby Road. And that is not the case to my, understanding, it's a class 4 road. Okay, who was it? Hold on, this I will tell you.
I heard it was blocked off.
Shouldn't be.
Somebody complained to me that it was blocked, but I haven't been down there.
I haven't been down there, I don't know. You should talk to us about that, sorry.
Road few down there after this.
It's likely blocked off where it turns class 4 or trail or even private, but I do know the road leading down in is open.
Even if that's the case, you can't block it off. It's listed as a class 4 road all the way through. You can't block it in any capacity. It's illegal.
Right, so I wrote back to this gentleman and said, I don't know who stopped you, but you can go ahead and print this out, and it's a class 4 road for 2.25 miles, and then it turns into something else, and I forwarded it to the Trails Committee as well, but basically the answer is.
Reach out to you, because I think, cause I'm a listener, they're driving by and they said something to me.
Thank you for sending them to the right place, so, yeah,
Class 4 trail.
private citizens are allowed to walk.
But it's a class 4 regardless of whether it's a trail
Right.
road all the way across.
So
you can't
nobody-
block it in any capacity.
Correct, so no, private citizens can walk on class 4 roads. So
You drive on.
I let them know that they could print, yeah, well,
Yeah.
drive on class 4, yes,
100%.
but even trails, it was like, the answer was you can even horseback ride.
Do you wanna hold, did anybody get what I sent?
I actually just, if I can hit
If not,
go,
There
I
it
just
is.
sent one too, so. Thanks. Yep, Sandy. And unfortunately, this is gonna be like a 10-minute discussion because we do need to, leave at 7. I do wanna remind everybody that next Tuesday is our special meeting on South Bear Swamp Road regarding, South Bear Swamp Road, and that starts at 4:45. So that's June 23rd at 4:45. And I emailed Rob earlier to ask what the next steps were. It should be in your inbox now. And I've got some, So basically saying procedurally, there's nothing more that we need to do between now and next Tuesday. But we did discuss earlier that some of the residents aren't getting the classified mail, so we're gonna send people emails or give them phone calls. So we're gonna be doing the same kind of site visit as we conducted on the April 28th hearing. And the purpose of the site visit is to allow the select board members and observers to inspect the road and get an understanding of the scope of any upgrade project on the ground. And that any comments during the site visit will not be considered evidence, as the select board will rely only on the information and testimony that comes out at the hearing. And then he's talking about the hearing. And that we'll have people sign in. And the list will come in handy when the select board later deliberates over a decision in the reclassification request. All right, I think that covered.
Is the site visit at 5:45?
So the site visit is at 445 South Bear Swamp Road,
Okay.
just like we did back in April. Carol, are you available to take notes?
I did put it in my calendar.
Wonderful, that's fantastic.
Here,
Okay, for the hearing, are we having the hearing right after?
like you did last time.
I guess, okay, so I'll take note, whatever notes on the road.
Sounds like there's no testimony, so it's not a.
I think, I don't know, Liz took the notes,
Oh, you did?
yeah,
Oh, then I'll come to the.
if you don't mind, 4:45, that would be awesome. You're the best, thank you. Okay. So we're about 10 minutes away from 7, do we wanna jump into this, or are we going to do the site visit and, hearing next week, and then come back to finish up the policy?
I just don't think 10 minutes is gonna.
I don't think 10 minutes is gonna do a justification either, and I honestly, I've forgotten where we were at, to start again.
People are still on classifying roads as Group A and Group
Group
B.
B.
And Matt has a question.
Matt,
Just wanna call out, I'm very interested to see the policy discussion that's going on, like I haven't really seen any details. Lots of back and forth and sort of third-hand hearing gossip from folks. So I'm somewhat concerned about whether or not this is only looking at South Bear Swamp, or if we're really looking at our class 4 road classification, and then we'll make a decision consistent with that.
yes.
Hopefully learn more about that, so right now I'm concerned just because of the lack of information.
I would say that the latter is the answer, that we want the class 4 to cover all class 4 roads. I also asked Eric, before the next Tuesday to put a list of class 4 roads together with the number of houses on each class 4 road. The last 2, select board hearings, we talked about it for about an hour at the last select board hearing, and at least a half hour, at the select board meeting before, so Orca, YouTube Orca, those are up for you to look at, thank you, Orca. Okay, so since,
He's gonna follow up.
Yeah.
So I have watched the orcas, it hasn't been clear to me which decisions will be made when. I thought the class 4 policy decision was gonna be made before a decision on South Bear Swamp. But it's not clear to me that that's what's being planned, and I'm sort of requiring.
well, I think what happened was we had tried, but with all the business that comes up every week and that we have to do, this is where we're at.
Yeah, I hear you. Basically, knowing as little as I do about it right now, I'm very concerned that we don't have the policy defined before that decision's made. That's your business.
Well, and I don't, we're gonna have a hearing, but, yeah, I don't know if we're ready to make any decisions on anything either. So I don't know if that
That's hard.
is going to result in any sort of decisions. Sky, go ahead. Hi.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my Zoom to work. Hi. For the class 4 report, would it be possible to also include number of houses, but compared to the square footage of the road? Because I just worry that if there's like 2 houses, but it's just 200 yards or something, I just want to make sure that that the number of homes isn't the only determination. And the other is, as you know, I think it'd be wonderful if there was some consideration for town use of the road as well.
In what way do you mean that? Sorry.
Well, we're on a class 4 and it's, we're at the end of Notch Road where the town hiking trail is. And we do a lot of maintenance on the road and I've tried to raise this before, but it would just, I think it's important. It gets really dangerous on the road and we and our neighbors maintain it. But if we got the survey the other day about the potential cabins and for the hut system. And I just think if there's a town use of the road, it's like town sanctioned, that should be part of the consideration as to how they're classified.
And Sky, not to interrupt you, that was part of last meeting's discussion. There was a pretty good amount of conversation around the town forest access and stuff like that. So that was definitely a big one, safety concerns and all that. So yeah, I know you weren't there, but that's a biggie for sure.
So yeah, sorry to miss the meeting and then bring the thing up at the next meeting.
No problem. And I will ask Eric to include the length of the roads.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And by the way, Sky, we went ahead and you are part of our 7-person hiring committee. So just to let you know that. Yeah.
Great.
Well, I'll let everybody know, not officially, but yes, you made it.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Does anybody have any other kind of comment? And also, Sky, if you can be there, if you want to be there on that site visit next Tuesday, I think really anybody who lives on a class 4 road would have something to say about what we're doing right now. So I welcome everybody's comments on the class 4 road so that as we get this policy together, it's right for everybody or as many people as we can make happy. Perfect. Does anybody have any other comments or questions about the class 4 roads or the meeting next week?
I think I would echo the requests for more data because when I was thinking about this, we should have there's policy, which is well intentioned, but without having meaningful data, the miles of total class 4 miles, total trail mileage, cost per mile to salt sand, what's summer maintenance per mile, winter maintenance per mile on average. Also just how many of those miles have residents living on them versus how many are how many miles of road do we have where nobody lives on them. So and I know Eric's got a lot of that, and Eric's also super busy, but I think that pressing for that data is really important so that we're not just discussing this in hypothetical, because the reality is that in updating this road reclassification for South Bear Swamp stands to set precedent for we have I think just over 9 miles of class 4 road that that's my concern, I guess, and also just echoing the need for that information to make sure that everyone's very informed about the trajectory or the downstream effect of any decision that's made.
That sounds smart to me.
One of the other things we talked about last week, Stacy, was that we also talked about having a separate trails policy in separating it because the trails are mentioned in the current class 4 road policy quite a bit. And we thought that we should maybe have its own policy.
Yeah, I read the minutes about how allowing snowmobile access, allowing maintenance, because right now there's no maintenance, but our Conservation Commission is looking to kind of ramp up our trails and with the hut, the Vermont hut offering and things like that. So
Right.
a lot of really good ideas kicking around, but this is probably something that'll need to marinate for a while and shouldn't be done like on a rush job.
All right, well, we're a minute before 7. Do I have a motion to, go ahead.
What time is that thing on Tuesday for South Bear Swamp?
4:45 on site.
And just one more thing about the whole class 4 thing to really keep in mind is that if people live on a class 4, is we really gotta make sure we try to maintain it, cause they pay the same taxes for safety and stuff. And I'm thinking back at the flood, and I just know one of our residents, I didn't realize she was stuck at home for 2 weeks with the culvert on, and it just really bothered me that, I mean, I didn't even know I was gonna get around there somehow.
Yeah, no, and we're definitely working on better communication systems that way too. Colin Marshall is really working on something so that when we have the next emergency, we can figure that whether it's phone calls or texts or some kind of.
I gave her crap for it, because she was going through cancer at the time.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, man.
Yeah, and it's hard when we don't have power at home, we don't have Wi-Fi at home. It's like, it's impossible to let people know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Especially when you're a stubborn woman.
Is there, the emergency management, in the plan, or is there a list of vulnerable properties that should be checked in on?
I don't know. That's a good thing to mention to Colin, and Eric. That'd be great. All right, Stacy's already bounced out because she has another meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll
And
second.
do I? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming tonight. I'm very sorry we didn't have more time for the class 4 roads.